Hello and welcome. My name is Holly, and this is my Flosstube channel called Hobbies of Holly. This is a place that I love to discuss my hobbies, show you what I've been up to, and I talk about cross stitch, sometimes quilting, sometimes knitting, which is new for me. But today I would like to show you my kits. Let's have a kit parade. You want to? I still love this furniture piece that I bought at the Ballard's outlet near my home in Cincinnati area. And this is where I keep my kitted projects. So I will show you what we're gonna look at today. And then I'll pull them all out, put them in some kind of order, and we'll talk about them. Okay, it's all on my table. It's kind of a lot. It's kind of a mess. There will be crinkling and unzipping. Shall we do this? Okay, I'm surrounded by bags of all sorts, and I'm ready to show you some things. Are you ready? It's a lot. I didn't count. Maybe we can keep count as we go. In no particular order, let's do this. The first project I have kitted up, that's not a verb. We're gonna use it, okay? Is Sampler Maker's Queen of the Needle series by the Primitive Hare. This is a darling needle book, and the reason I bought this was because welcome Stitchery. My mind sometimes just goes blank and we just have to wait for it to catch up. Welcome Stitchery had the Primitive Hare visit their shop, and they discussed these books, and they were so cute, and I thought I needed one. So I bought that. And some of these I have linen in the kit bag, some of them I don't. But this one I do not have linen, but I have the floss I need. All I need to do is grab a piece of linen and I'm ready to go. I am not someone who really needs the called for linen to work on a project. I'm good to just do a little floss toss and see what works with my linen. In that cabinet over there, the third drawer is full of my linen. If you haven't watched it, a number of episodes back, I did a tour of my space and I toured you through that drawer. Not that I haven't added more since then, but it's my linen. Okay, next up, this is the Scarlet House Smith Sampler. A lot of these I purchased via destash, and I think this was one of them. I think this is so pretty, and I love, although I have not really done a lot of it yet, just choosing some of the items and stitching, or this one you could just stitch a row of it. This one came with all the floss. It looks like there's some, ooh, this is silk. I definitely got this in a destash. And you know what I've discovered? I love the Classic Colorworks Belle Soie because it's an over-dyed silk. Ooh, that's a good picture to show you. That there's a lot of variegation in it, and I really like it. These are pricey, but they are 12 stranded, so you get more for your buck. This, I do not have linen chosen yet, but again, I can choose some. I'm gonna put things in and zip because otherwise things will fall out, and you know that would be a disaster. I have another Scarlet House, Mary Finley. Another beautiful Scarlet House. And this one came with the NPI and Mason linens. Some of these things I bought from the Homespun Needleworks Facebook group, but I couldn't remember that this was one of them, but it could have been. I love silks. I love Mason linen, and maybe this was a Homespun Needleworks. Anybody remember? The next one I have, this was a gift from my friend Kia, and it's another Scarlet House, and this is the Patriotic Shaker box set. Isn't that pretty? And Kia gave us the DMC and a color conversion that she has everything listed. So I'd like to do this one maybe next summer to be a patriotic stitch. It's really pretty. Another destash purchase is Sarah Barker 1840. And this is by Needlework Press. I think that's really pretty. I really like the border on this one. And this came with dinky dies. And again, it must have been a destash. Another destash, and this is my maybe first Queenstown sampler designs. This is Martha Pettit, 1804. She's pretty, huh? And this is again one that you could just pull out one of those bouquets of flower and make a small if you wanted. Very simple border, but I like it. And this came with the NPI floss as well. Next is one that I actually kitted for my friends when we went to Shipshewana. This is Rachel Shared, I think you would say, 1900, age 82, and it's a Hands Across the Sea sampler. I am so sorry about glare today. And I just bought all of the DMC, and it's ready to go if I just choose a linen to go with it. Next was another destash purchase. Sarah Allen, okay, hold on. I'm gonna try changing lighting and see if that helps glare. Okay, I'm back. Let's see if this helps. Sarah Allen, 1814. And this is another Needlework Press. This came with the linen and the floss. And it looks like it's cotton overdyed. Here's what the back of it looks like with the kit. I usually am drawn toward a lighter linen, but this one really speaks to me. So this will probably stretch me a little bit to try a darker linen. This next one, I kitted myself as a birthday start last year and then didn't start it. This is Ann Thomas by Hands Across the Sea. And I think I was a little torn because I couldn't decide if I wanted to stitch the entire piece or just that center bird. And I think I'm leaning toward just the bird, although those corner flowers are something, aren't they? And so I have DMC. I think I just did the 1, 2, 3 stitch, add it all to the cart. That is such a great feature. When you go to 1, 2, 3 stitch and you find a chart, they usually have suggested linen, like either called for. If they're out of stock, they'll have suggestions, and then all of the called for floss. So you can hit select all, add it to the cart, and have it all, which is very easy shopping. This was one of my first destash kit purchases, and it's D Freytag 1849, and I think it's so beautiful. I am drawn to florals, so I really think this is pretty. My problem is the seller had attached, she'd actually started this. This is not my stitching, but she had attached it to a frame, obviously, and it has Velcro sewn to it. And the Velcro in shipping, I'm gonna attach the Velcro to each other so it doesn't happen again. All of the silk floss was kind of tangled into the Velcro, and I fear that it's damaged the silk, but I may go ahead and stitch with it anyways. But oh, messy. But these are the silks, and again, it's the oh, these are Glorianas, which I don't think I've ever stitched with Gloriana. So I can let you know. Some of it looks a little frazzled from being stuck to Velcro, but I'll try it. Okay, next is the Pink Sparrow sampler by whom? It just says an antique needlework production. Let me look to see if I can find more information on this one. You all are probably yelling it. I think this is a beautiful sampler. And this came with linen, but it's crunchy linen, so I'll probably switch that out. It just says sandstone tea-dyed linen, and then the cotton overdyes with that. Okay, let's look at this. Am I missing it? Pink sampler. Sparrow Sampler. I think that's the name, not the company, right? Sorry, it's with thy needle and thread. It's 2013. That makes sense. So it doesn't have with thy needle and thread anywhere on the cover, but that is beautiful. Now that I get these out, I'm like, well, I want to start this right now. Okay, let me put this in here. These are, let me show you these bags. These are bags I talked about early on in my floss tubes that I get from Amazon. And I bought enough that I thought to put all my kits in, but then my kits keep growing, so I don't have enough. But they're really nice. They have a handle. They have a smaller zipper section that you can put floss notions in, and then a bigger section for the actual chart. Okay, next in the pile, this one I hit up myself. This is a Kathy Barrick. Again, with the dark fabric, I feel like the light flosses just really show up nicely on this. This is Kathy Barrick, a Dutch sampler. Let me pull it back a little bit so you can see it. Oh, I love that. And it's another one that you could just stitch this bowl of flowers and it would be beautiful, or this center bowl of flowers, or those birds. And I do have linen that I pulled, which is a nice dark linen. Let's see if I have that written down. Number 12 Stitch Co. Autumn Beach. And I love number 12 Stitch Co. And I bought the MPI silks to go with that. That's one I keep meaning to start. And next is Liz Matthews, which ironically is Kathy Barrick's daughter in the pile. This is the Vanity Sampler. And a Vanity Sampler, I believe I'm correct in this, had the stitcher's information, but they must have cut out their birth date or some other information because they didn't want people to know how old they were. I believe this was from a Quilter Station retreat, and I had to cancel because I injured my knee the weekend before the retreat. So they were kind enough to go ahead and send me the kits since I had to cancel last minute. But this comes with, I think, a small project as well, and the MPI silks were also included in this. And the linen, which is, I must have pulled my own linen, which is LFA Low Tide, which you may know is one of my absolute favorites. LFA linen is so nice. Sue from Legacy Fiber Arts and her daughter Chelsea are strictly concentrating on dyeing yarn right now. And oh, they dye beautiful yarn. But they have said that they're probably going to dye some linen fairly soon. And you'll watch for that from Treehouse Fiber Arts, Rachel. If you get on her mailing list, she'll tell you when she has their linen coming. And that's worth getting on Rachel's mailing list. And Rachel has a great shop that a few of these charts and floss packs have come from Rachel. Okay, next, I really want to get to this one too. Is that a recurring theme? This is the Artsy Housewife, and I have not stitched one of her charts yet, but this is Grace. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I think I purchased this from Treehouse Fiber Arts as a kit. I'm sorry about the light. When I hold my hand up, I have sun coming in from the side and it's messing it up. But this came from Treehouse Fiber Arts, I believe, and it came with all the overdyed cottons and DMC required. This is one of those that's stitched on 3 pieces of linen that are different colors, although you could stitch it all on one linen if you so choose to do that. I should start that, shouldn't I? This is another destash I purchased, and I've shown it before because I really want to start it. Should we count how many times I say I really want to start it? This is Heartstring Samplery. Jesus, Mary, and a Lobster. And that is a very unique title. And she talks about the fact that a lobster is used in the information in the chart and when a lobster was used and what it was symbolizing. But I love that, I don't know, what is that? Horseshoe wreath of flowers. And this has linen, which is Lakeside Exemplar. I should use the Lakeside in this. I should start this. and the MPI silk. I just don't have enough time in my days. Do you find you have that problem too? Or I have too much stash. That could also be a problem. Don't tell my husband I said so, okay? Next in the pile, this was from the Queen City Sampler Guild. That is a wonderful guild. You can join even if you don't live in the Cincinnati area. They have amazing speakers who come in person, but also virtually. And this was a class they did virtually, and they sold a kit to go along with it. But Cross Stitch Antiques, Kathleen Little, spoke about Bristol samplers, I believe. And so this was a chart she made up for us. It's not an original Bristol, but it's based on Bristol, so it's an original design. And it came with the 103 silk and linen. Also love that. This next one is a modern folk embroidery. I get asked a lot about the stitch on my fireplace. That is modern folk embroidery. It was the 2022, I believe, mystery sampler for the year. Ingletite, and then I can't remember what her last name is, but if you go there and type in Ingletite, which I think is just put an E and G, the rest will come up. That is that sampler, and it's an all black sampler. I loved stitching that. Anyways, this is Tirgi and Gerchi, I think is how you say it. And I think it's a Frisian sampler. I just destashed a few things, and that last one and this one were things I was gonna destash. And I've decided I'm gonna keep them, if for no other reason. This is a whole lot of stitching. And I don't think I wanna stitch the whole thing, but I do think I want to pull out some of the motifs, cartouche, and stitch those. But I love Roxy Floss Co. And it came with all of the Roxy Floss Co. This came from Evertote in Canada. I love their linen and I love their floss. And I must have, oh wait, the linen's in here. This linen is also one of my favorites. Can you see that? Carrie Dyson, beautiful linen. Hold on, I'll tell you what the color is because I don't have it marked. I don't see it quickly. It might come to me as I talk. It's one of their popular linens, and it's not coming to me. If you want to know, let me know in the comments, and I'll do more research into it. This is another Scarlet House, the Coverlet Houses. And I was going to destash this because this is a lot of stitching, but I could also do this. And I love those colors. And it came with the linen and the NPI silk. I believe this was a Facebook Marketplace destash that this came from. Next is not in a fancy bag. This is Floral Heart Kit by Samplers Not Forgotten. She has some beautiful kits. Jessica Sweetwater Stitcher has talked about her kits before, but this is the Floral Heart. And I bought this from her website, and it came with the linen and the floss and the finishing things that we need. Again, what is this, like a Victorian floral? I'm drawn to those. As I said when I've talked about one of my whips, I think it just reminds me of my great-grandmother, whose name was Roxy. Isn't that a fun name for a great-grandmother? And she was married to, we are Southern people. We come from Kentucky and Tennessee, and my great-grandfather's name was Redwine. He was a redhead, and so they named him Redwine, but he went by RW. Isn't that funny? Redwine and Roxy. Okay, next in my pile. This was another destash. This is Rosewood Manor baskets. And again, it's one that I don't think I'll do the whole thing, but I do think I'll do some of these pots of flowers. And it came with 28 count, picture this plus Ren, and the silk, and I always forget. I want to call them Gloriana, the Valdani silk. I don't know if I would do it on 28 count. Well, I guess if I did small things, I think this would be huge if you did the whole thing on 28 count. Next, I have a stack of drawn thread, which also came from that Facebook Marketplace find that someone's mother had passed away and they were selling her stash. And I bought a lot of kits. Some of them I took apart the kits and gave away the charts or gave away the kits that weren't something I would stitch. But there was a stack of the drawn thread. This is Simply Autumn. I think that's beautiful, and I should put that in a separate pile and start that separate pile going on. Simply Spring, and again it came with the floss and the linen. The pile on the floor is getting bad. Simply Winter. And then a few more that I haven't decided if I'm gonna keep or not, but Winter Jumble. My friend Missy from Two Needles Pulling Thread talked about these. She is doing the other seasons. I think she started one of them. And then Summer Garden. You know I love houses. I might just do this section and Winter Garden. Look at that house. This one I would consider just doing this section. Ooh, and I like that blue fabric it came on. My basket's overflowing down here. Okay, these I pulled aside because they were ones I was pretty sure came from Homespun Needlework. I think that's the name of it. I always get the name of the Facebook page mixed up in my head. I know Homespun is in it. Homespun Needlework, I think is what it's called. It is a great Facebook group to join because Julie Kursavi works with designers and needlework shops to put together exclusives. Now, some of them are going to be available to the public in a year, but there are a few of them that will never be available outside of the group. I'm somebody who, if it's an exclusive, I need to have it. That's probably a problem in my personality, but so let's look at these. The first one is Jane Thompson, 1838. Again, that house. One of my problems is that verses are often over one, and I'm a little intimidated by that, but I know I can do it. It's just the doing it. This came with the NPI silks and the linen. Now, in these purchases with Homespun, you can usually choose if you want silks, if you want DMC, etc. I think it depends on how drawn I am to the chart or how much they're gonna cost if I choose overdyeds, DMCs, or silks. The next one is also the Scarlet Letter, and this is Jane Williams. I think this was a Homespun Needlework. I put it in that pile because it came from Country Sampler. Would that be, or was maybe this is just there was a Country Sampler kit. That house. Why do I love stitching houses so much? But also, look at that little lady with the umbrella. Next, this is from Homespun Needlework, Whilst Iris Knapp's design, Sophia Neal, 1832. My last name is Neal, and so I had to have this. Isn't that pretty? Again, that one's a big commitment, but I really do like it. Sometimes once you get in the rhythm, those borders just almost stitch themselves. And this came, I haven't completely, with this beautiful linen, and this time I chose the DMC. And a lot of times they come with an extra, and this came with some needle bling. Okay, this was also a Homespun Facebook group purchase, And I think this is now available to everyone. This is Stacy Nash, Rose Hill Farm Sampler and Pin Keeps. And that, can you see the pin keep up there? And a little scissor fob. This came completely kitted. Oh, and she even gives a layout of how to lay out the linen so that you can get everything on it. Another really dark linen, and the Weeks floss that came with it. And this one had a little bonus of a corner gauge. Next in the pile is From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy, Sweet Home. This was another homespun Facebook group purchase. I don't think it's come out yet. You could purchase either just her adaptation from the antique sampler, or you could purchase both the antique sampler charted and this. So I did both because I think that's pretty cool, that house and the whole thing. And here's what that came with. That looks like the Weeks and Seraphim 40 count Sweet Home linen. This next one was a Hobby House mystery box that they had. It was March 2024 mystery box exclusive. And this was designed by Hobby House. It's a nice small, it would be easily doable. The linen is parchment linen, and then the overdyed floss is Weeks. It's all in this package. Let's look at the floss. You want to? Pretty. That wouldn't take me long. I should put that in the start pile. And this came with, what do you call these? Floss drop? That you would hang all of your flosses on. Just gonna push that aside. This next one, I think I just showed you on my last floss tube, but this came from my friend Kia, and this is available from Evertote. This is an 1897 Schoolhouse Samplers. Catherine Rees. And it comes with both this chart and this chart. And they had it available, I think it's like for a friend. So it came with both. So Kia sent me the Roxy floss for it, and I've already told you how much I love Roxy floss. And this might be Roxy porcelain, I'm not sure. Oh, it tells me dirty porcelain linen, which is 46 count. Kia is a high count stitcher, and I'm learning that I can also handle 46 count. We're doing a higher count than that, and that one is a little slower for me, but I'm doing it. Okay, my next pile, let's do Blackbird next. Oh, I have an itchy nose and I'm so sorry. Okay, my Blackbirds that are kitted. And if you've watched me before, you know I am drawn to Blackbird designs. Also, sorry, I'm going to the Dying to Stitch retreat, God willing, in September with my best friend Tam, and Alma from Blackbird is going to be there. I'm quite excited. So this one is a little bit of spring. And this was kitted in spring of 2023 by Dying to Stitch. They have some clubs, which I have not been fortunate enough to join, but I hope to do that next year. And this came with flosses, but then there are also extra full skeins of floss. And I'm assuming this is an R&R fabric, since they are also the dyers of R&R linen. And it even came with a needle. Join Hand in Hand, a scissor pocket is another Blackbird kit I have. And I think I bought this from Destash group on Facebook. And this was a Quilter Station exclusive, and it comes with the weeks. I think there's a needle included. Oh, that looks like a Pat Carson needle. Do you think it is? And picture this plus linen. I'm not sure which one it is. Oh, and even the piece for finishing. Oh, this is picture this plus Wren. Quilter Station did have some Pat Carson needles a couple years ago. So I bet this is a Pat Carson. See that gold tip? That's a little treasure I didn't know was in here. Okay, next Blackbird. Humming of the Bees. Oh, you know I love a house. I love everything about this. Look at that border. Why have I not started this? This one has the Vicki Clayton silks. And when you purchase Vicki Clayton silks, they come on spools. And I know some people have cut them off the spools and put them on floss drops. And I might do that because they're at least 4-stranded. They might be 6-stranded. And she always gives you a conversion of her silks and what you should use for the chart. And then this also comes with linen, which is mystery. Maybe it's called for. Matters not to me. I'll just stitch on it. Okay. These bags I was telling you about, sometimes I put a small project in the front and then a larger project in the back when I'm just using them to store my kits. This is Blackbird Where My Heart Blooms, which is Loose Feathers pattern 29. I really like everything about that one too. This comes with weeks, and I must have purchased this in a destash. In this envelope is 30 count Corky's Special Blend by R&R, but I think this must be on the old Weeks fabric because it's the stiff kind. And then I don't remember if I threw this in there or if this came this way, but there's I don't know. Fox and Rabbit Bake Clay. What had me stumped there was it was Patreon December 22, and I was in their Patreon for a bit. It doesn't matter if I threw this in or it came that way, but sometimes it makes me wonder. Again, that wouldn't take long. This is not Blackbird. This was, on the other side, was from Hobby House Retreat last fall that I had the privilege of attending, and that's where I met Nicola Parkman for the first time. But Claudia Dutchler-Kissler was also there discussing her, she is fantastic. She has, I think she talked about like Victorian motto samplers a lot because she has an extensive collection of those. But this is Knowledge is Power, a rare New Jersey sampler, originally worked on perforated paper. So I do think the whole thing was discussed on perforated paper. Isn't that pretty? I do love a monochromatic stitch. When I stitched that piece, I had in mind that I would do a black sampler wall, and then that's the only black sampler I've stitched. I get so distracted with pretty things, but I want to. This next one is Moments of Glad Grace by Blackbird. Oh, that's pretty. And let's see what's in here. It also came with this pen keep, I guess it is. I couldn't tell if it was on something wood, but I think that's a mattress finish. And this has Legacy by Picture This Plus, 36 count, and Gentle Arts. And then on the other side of this, oh, I like this a lot. Okay, I'm gonna throw this in the pile to start soon too. Give Thanks by Blackbird. I have done Feast of Friendship. I have not framed it yet, but I think this would be really pretty to go along with that, don't you think? It looks like similar colors. And this has the Gentle Arts floss to go along with it. And I'll choose my own linen. This is a, this is second in the sewing box series, so I think it's finished on a box. Love that. Throw that in the Stitch Me Soon pile. Next, Blackbird is My Dear Hearts. Again, another dark fabric. Don't you think I should start one? I like that. And this is a full kit as well. It looks like there's beads in there. I wonder if this has a smaller chart included. Guess what? I haven't even opened this one. Oh, look at that. It must be for that. I do love a little. And I love purple. Look. And it came with dressmaker's pens. This must have been from a class that they taught penning. Let's see. Oh no. Look at the finishes for the beads on the border. Okay. I'm putting that in the pile too because I've seen Katie Strachan do a finish like that, and now I must. And this purple is the linen. Gotta start that. Okay, last Blackbird. Oh nope, that's not true. Two more Blackbirds are these little tiny things. Delicious Autumn and Fall Gatherings. Those would be cute this fall too. That I have, picture this plus Wren. The backing, this is a full finishing kit. And all the floss. Look at those fun fall colors. I'll throw it in the fall, maybe. Start projects. Even comes with that mini rickrack trim. Okay, next pile, I think are smalls. I pulled this together when I first started stitching again, when this came out. This is the With My Needle and Thread Keeper of the Pins, little bowl fillers, and have not done the first one, but I have it with 30 count linen, pecan shortbread, and I had pulled some Roxy floss to go with that. That's so funny. You would think I would have stitched those by now. Those would make good car stitches because it's on 30 count, so I should throw that in the car with a needle. Oh, I have a needle on it. Okay, that's going in a separate pile too. Next up is a Stacy Nash Old White Farmhouse sampler. Love. You could do just the top half, you could do just the bottom half. And this I have with the overdyed color and cotton. This makes me think of my friend Jane. This is a Shepherd's Bush, My Home Sweet Home. I have not done a Shepherd's Bush. This also makes me remember that this pile does not include Christmas kits. Maybe that'll be a separate video because I keep my Christmas in the bottom large drawer right there. And what made me think of it is I have a couple of the Shepherd's Bush stockings fully kitted, and I really want to start one of those. I'm tired of hearing myself say I really want to start something. You must be tired of it too. This I kitted last winter and then did not get around to it. But this is the Brenda DeRay Snow Magical. And I have the finishing piece by Chantel, and I have everything in here. Ooh, I have Sleeping Bear. I have a fat quarter of Sleeping Bear by Needle and Flax stuck in here. And I pulled flosses. Maybe on a nice snowy day this winter, this will be my snow day stitch. I told you how much I love a snow day. This I've had since I first started back to stitching too. This is a JBW Designs Love Always. She sells these on her website with everything you need to make. And I just think that is really precious. Also, I bought this, stitched this, but haven't done the full finish on it yet, which, why, I ask you, because I did it a long time ago. But this is the stitch, and this was also available as a kit on her website. Okay, that I'm gonna toss over here because I'm doing some finishing right now. This, my best friend Tam gave us when we went to ship Shawana. This chart is by Sampler Bird Stitchery, and it's called A Tribute to Friendship Sampler. And Tam gave us the called for weeks that goes with it. I love that. Autumn Garden by the Scarlet House. I'll throw it in the autumn pile. Everything you need. This is from the Fanciful Flamingo. You know, Alicia has a quarterly stitch box. She also has her first ever sampler box that is shipping pretty soon, but I think she has more. Go to her Instagram or her Flosstube for more information. But this is by my sweet friend Annie, the Proper Stitcher. And it's called Sweet Friendships. And I believe you can buy this now. I might be wrong, but I think so. And it came with the DMC and finishing items that you'll need for it. This next one was also purchased from Treehouse Fiber Arts as a set. This is Plum Street, Jack Sweet Shop, Wilhelmina. Look at that lamb. And it comes with all the floss. Rachel curates items for her shop and often sells the chart and the floss together as a set, which is a very convenient service that she offers. Next up is Stitches by Ethel, Sewing Bird and Buttons. This wasn't a Fanciful Flamingo box, was it? I don't think so, but I got this somewhere like that. And it came kitted, and that is cute, and that wouldn't take long either. That'd be a fun stitchy friend gift. Stitches by Ethel does some really cute things. They, I think, almost always have little animals in them. My friend Kathy from Two Needles Pulling Thread really loves Stitches by Ethel. Okay, this was the Chantel birthday box, and I don't think you can get everything that came with it, but you can get the chart for sure and some of the pieces. Oh, I think this was the bonus that was only available in the box. But this, sorry, can't stitching, came fully kitted with the finishing pieces. That's cute. Okay. Next, I have a Sajou set of Paris. And this came as a boxed kit. The Scissorist is someone you can get Sajou things from, but look at everything that came with it. And I'm using Sajou floss for the first time right now. I just posted it on Instagram today. I'm doing one of Annie the Proper Stitcher's pieces, Margaret Kendall, and I pulled Sajou floss to stitch the piece, and I'm really enjoying it. I do think it knots on me a little bit, so I should be using a waxer. Aren't these fun? Look at that. Oh, and it came with a little label to attach when you're finished. Except for Christmas, I've shown you my kits. You know what? Hold on, I'll get my Christmas. Be right back. Okay, I'm back with Christmas. This makes me get in the spirit of things. This first pile are these fun kits from Satsuma Street. I have stitched one Absolutely love it. I haven't fully finished it yet, but my friend Sue, Legacy Fiber Arts, she's Knit24 on Instagram. She does floss toss with Rachel from Treehouse Fiber Arts. Sue is obsessed with these, and she is stitching the Halloween ones right now for her grandkids. But this one is Lolly Claws. You know, Missy, you should stitch this as Lolly. This is Holiday Horse. You know what? I have a new great niece or nephew coming, and this, I'm pulling that aside to start. I love this one. This is Calling Birds. When Tam and I became best friends, pushing 40 years ago, we lived like a town apart, same county, but we were long distance. And these two young moms used to pull up some pretty big phone charges, and our husbands were not happy about that. So we've always kind of loved telephone things. Oh, that's a fun one. Merrily They Ring and A Merry Pair. I love those colors. I don't always decorate in those colors for Christmas. I can traditionally be a red and green kind of person, but my second daughter, Lindsay, has always loved like the pinks and the turquoises for Christmas. So maybe those would be good gifts for her. Okay, this is a Holly House design, Christmas holly. And it came with everything I need. This was another Treehouse Fiber Arts Rachel purchase. She sells these Layla's Studio with the floss that you need. And I believe these are done on linen, but I think Vana has shown them done with perforated paper. And I think those would be fun and easy to finish if you do them on perforated paper. I have the red one maybe in my whips. I think I started it. I don't think, oh, that's not a kit. This is an old Homespun Elegance chart, the 2008 Santa ornament. And I think he's really cool. This was another one that came from a destash, so I may or may not use what came with it, but like that. This one, I kitted up to do in honor of Kathy Walker's birthday last year. It's the Stitches by Ethel. And then I found another one that I did instead, but I really want to stitch this. I love how that tree comes together and those little birds. I think that's really pretty. So I have that all kitted up in a project bag. Let's start that. Next is a stack of hands-on design things. And these could be Jingle Ball purchases, which is coming before we know it, and be sure and sign up for the Jingle Ball when you can. But Very Merry, Oh Christmas Tree, and I have everything ready to stitch those, including Kathy sells the finishing items, round already cut, mat board, etc., and the tree lot. I know for sure that was a Jingle Ball purchase. And then I have floss and linen all set in this bag. Stitch those. This is another Homespun Elegance purchase from a destash. Cinnamon sticks. Look at that Santa. That's what the chart looks like. And this is what was included with that. I do love an old Santa. Okay, some of these I have in project bags. I believe this is a, Jenny is her name. I can't think of her website. 2 words, Patchwork and Poppies. She does a beautiful bag and she sells other fun things, but we're not here to talk about bags, are we? This is a Lizzie Kate set, and I'm drawn to Lizzie Kate. This is, I think it must have been a mystery, and here's what it came with when I purchased it. Here's part of it, and then this is the whole thing, and I like that a lot. I love those colors. I had that on my to-do list last year to start, and I did not. Hey, look at the fun things that came with this. And Oh, you know what? I purchased this from Judy's Stitchery Nook. Bought this myself. Let's see if there's a date on here. Yes, August of 2022. So I don't know if they have them, but I can't remember how I found out about it. But they're in Harlington, Texas, Judy's Stitchery Nook. And it came with the beads and everything you need for it. So that's a Lizzie Kate project. Another one in a project bag, which is a Berry Stitch Folk bag, is, this one's fairly new, came out at market maybe, Pennsylvania Christmas 2 by Shakespeare's Peddler. I think Stitch Stitch Bead just finished these recently. And I have lovely number 12 Stitch Co. Red Rose linen all ready to go. And I pulled a couple of things. I pulled some, I think this is Sulky Petites or Color and Cotton, because I couldn't decide which way I wanted to go with it. Oh, and I have a Jenny's Flower Thread. Lots of options. Okay. Here's one of the Shepherd's Bush stockings I have. Have you stitched these? This one is Slater. I have another one that I've pulled ready to start. Here's my question. These came kitted, and it uses Classic Color. Oh wait, I didn't even know Classic Colorworks had Pearl number 5. I knew Weeks did. I wonder if that's old. Here's some Weeks Pearl Cotton, and then the DMC Pearl Cotton. So it came kitted with those, and it has the beads and the buttons, but I don't think I like this. This is like a really crunchy 18 count that it came with. And then I have, I don't know what this is. I must have stuck it in there. Do you use the called for, or do you find your own? I could stitch on this, but I think it looks smaller. So I don't, that would affect the size of the stocking. Things I have to decide before I start. And then my last kit to show you is another one from Fanciful Flamingo box. This came last year at Christmas time, I think, and it's an Erin Elizabeth design, Tree of Joy. And it came with the DMC and fabric for finishing. And there you have it. Those are all of my kits. Did anybody keep count? I could count them when I put them all away, I guess. But I appreciate you joining me today. I would love to hear what you think I should start. And I would love to hear how many kits you have kitted up. This makes me think of Whips and Kits. I love Heidi. And she just told on her last floss tube how many things she has kitted up. I can't remember the exact number, but it was in the high 100. I mean, it was over 100. It was like 170 maybe. She's my hero. I like her. Okay, thanks for watching. Be sure and subscribe and like and comment and tell me anything you want to tell me. And I'll see you next time. One more thing, I found some more. So I thought I would just show you those real quick. And while I was away, I did count, and I think these put me at 77 kits. Do you think that's a lot? I don't know. Okay. Lila's Pen Keep Pillow by JBW. That's kitted up. That's cute, and that sure wouldn't take long. All dolled up, Little House Needleworks. That's cute. Home is Where My Stitching Is by what are they? The Primitive Hare. And this one's fun. Heartstring Samplery, My Sweet Home. This was at a Quilter Station retreat. This was her project. And all the fun stuff that comes with it. You can cut out the linen and put a picture of your childhood home in it.